Hope you're having a good one. It's Caroline here at Not Just Travel. I just thought I'd bring you a little update on the coronavirus situation. So from the point of view of not just travel and your booking with me, but also from a wider point of view, what's happening in the industry with regards to protection. I'll try and keep it as simple and as quick as I can, but it is quite complex. So as you know, this situation has never happened before in the travel industry, and it's a very challenging time for everybody. We have had lots of other similar challenges, such as avian flu and swine flu, ash clouds, volcanoes, etc. over the last 15 years that I've been in the industry, but we've never seen anything like this. It's very widespread, it's very serious, and because of that, because of it being completely unprecedented, there aren't that many protocols to follow. So you just need to basically bear with everybody. So if your booking is with me for the next couple of weeks, I will already have been in touch with you and will already have started that process for refund or for date changing. If your booking is towards the end of April, May time, I'll also have been in touch with you and we'll be looking at that. But my first priority has to be for the next 2 weeks of bookings. So we'll be getting onto the sort of late April, May bookings, hopefully when the 2 week ones, the next 2 weeks are sorted. If your booking is for the school summer holidays, July and August, that's still fairly far away within this situation now, because the situation is changing so rapidly every day. So in terms of refunds and cancellations, most of the operators are only looking at the beginning of April. Some of them are looking further, so Disney are, I think, looking until early June. But generally, the general rule is that if you've got a July or August holiday, then wait it out for a bit. Let's see what happens with the situation. I'll be in touch with you in the next couple of weeks, and we'll go from there and work out what the best plan for you is and what you want to do. If you wanted to, for example, cancel your August holiday now, of course you could do, but I'll explain why in a little bit, but it may not be covered by the protection at this point, and that will be because the operators are only working in a 2 or 3 week period from now. So, some general information about protection in the industry at the moment. This is all a rule of thumb. Every booking is different. Every booking has different booking conditions attached to it. It's with a different airline. It could be a scheduled airline is very different to a charter airline. Some operators are different to other operators. So everything is very individual. But on a general level, people have been asking me a bit about ABTA and ATOL. Well, ABTA doesn't really come into this. It does give financial protection, but not really for this actual situation. It's more of in this situation, it's a guiding body and it's a code of conduct for all travel agents. ATOL was originally conceived for supplier failure. So if the airline goes bust or the supplier goes bust or the travel company goes bust, that's to get you home and it's to make sure that you don't lose any money. Obviously, that's not the main problem at the moment either. But having said that, if your holiday cannot be provided, so your flights are cancelled and your holiday can't be provided by the tour operator, then ATOL does kick in. However, at the moment with this situation with coronavirus, that only happens when the FCO, the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, advise against travel to the destination you're booked to go to. So if you've got a holiday booked for Spain right now, then that will be kicking in, or for America. But other countries who are affected by coronavirus, the FCO hasn't yet changed its advice. The industry has to go on FCO advice, so at the moment that's the ever-changing situation. If your flight is cancelled and your holiday can't go ahead, we would expect in most cases you to be able to get a refund or at the very least a free date change. But as I said before, this is only happening 2 to 3 weeks. The bookings for the next 2 to 3 weeks are the only ones that would be happening for at the moment. The best advice I can give you for that, for the FCO, is go onto the FCO website, put in your destination in the search box, and then register for the updates and travel advice on that destination, and then you'll be the first one to know when that actually happens. The other thing that is also in the travel industry is something called the package travel regulations. That's also something that operators have to abide by, and it also protects you when you've booked a package. So everything I've just said regarding ATOL only exists when you've booked a package with a flight and a hotel in the same package. That will be the kind of holiday that I'm booking for you, but But if you've booked separately online, so you've booked your flight with the airline online and you've booked your hotel with booking.com, then that isn't going to be at all protected. So that's not the type of holiday that I'm talking about at the moment. PTR, package travel regulations, as I was saying, that does cover you up to a certain point. So that's also helpful to know. The grey areas that are coming up are a couple of things, and that is visas. Some countries such as India and I think Vietnam and others are saying no to visas for UK nationals as well as many other nationalities at the moment. And the FCO advice isn't saying don't go there. So that does present a little bit of a grey area. Similarly with the quarantine situation, some countries are saying that UK nationals have to go into quarantine if they arrive there. Again, you're not going to want to go on holiday there probably if you've got to be in quarantine for 14 days. So that means that you may not be able to go on that holiday, but the FCO advice may not have been updated for that country in the sense of we should advise you not to travel there. So it does present a little bit of a grey area. In this area, because it's unprecedented, the operators are still working on, some of them are still working on their situations and their conditions with that area. But generally, we would hope that it will be protected and you will actually be covered, even though these situations are outside of the airline and the operator's controls. So they're not actually covered by ATOL technically. So the other thing that people have been asking me about is travel insurance. So basically, in a nutshell, basic travel insurance policies don't usually cover pandemics, as you've probably already discovered from the media. What you can do is call your travel insurer, double check the terms and conditions, double check the small print, and ask them if they are offering travel disruption extra policy or anytime cancellation as an extra. Those two things could cover you. Some of them will offer it even on holidays already booked, and there's usually a 1 or 2 week time lag that will be applicable to. Some of them are not offering it now because they obviously have realised that they would be possibly losing a lot of money if they did offer it. So it's really, really different with different insurance providers. If you haven't got insurance and you have got a holiday booked, do go and get travel insurance. That would be the first thing I'd say to anybody who hasn't got travel insurance for any holiday. Because apart from this, when you book any holiday, you don't know what's going to happen. If you go and break your leg 2 days later, you're not going to be covered unless you've got travel insurance. For this particular instance, travel insurance may not cover you. There's a caveat to that, and that is if you've had medical advice saying you should not travel at this time from a doctor and you have that in writing, there may be a chance that you might be covered. So that's something that you might want to think about if you've been given medical advice. So that was a big summary of a very complex situation. The situation is very fluid, it's ever changing, we don't know what's coming next, so as I said, we just need to be a bit patient. But don't worry, if you're going in the next 2 weeks, we will obviously be looking at that as a priority. The main thing I wanted to say is, if you are booked to go with Not Just Travel, we have got your back. We are looking out for you and we will be with you every step of the way in this. We'll be your advocating on your behalf to get you the best possible refund or cancellation, whatever it is that you want. So try not to worry too much. Keep dreaming about where you're going because we'll all get there in the end. We had to cancel our holiday for Easter as well, but we know we'll get there in the end. So just keep thinking about where you were going. It's still going to be there whenever this ends. This isn't going to go on forever. It could go on for weeks, months, or even a year, but there will be a point when we will be able to start travelling again. So I'll keep you updated as much as I can. But in the meantime, most important thing, stay healthy and stay safe. Have a great weekend.